Rocket scientists are aerospace engineers who specialize in the design and manufacture of spacecraft. The job of a rocket scientist requires proficiency with physics, chemistry, aerodynamics, propulsion, communications and mathematics. ULA launches payloads to space aboard its Atlas V and Delta IV rockets, ranging from weather, telecommunications and national security satellites that protect and improve life on Earth to deep space and interplanetary exploration missions that further our knowledge of the universe. What is harder than rocket science? In response to climate science isn't rocket science. You are correct, climate science is not rocket science. It is much more difficult than rocket science. Rocket science essentially involves reliability engineering based on exhaustive physical testing and basic Newtonian physics. Is rocket science actually hard? Rocket science is very similar to mechanical engineering and requires a similar education and skill set. Most people consider it to be hard because it is very mathematically intensive. In university, you would need to take differential calculus and finite element analysis. Why is rocket science an idiom? When someone says that something is not rocket science, it means it's not difficult. In other words, it's easy to do or understand. This idiom is probably inspired by the study of rocket science, which isn't exactly easy. It's not rocket science, you know. Can I teach myself rocket science? Can I self-learn rocket propulsion and make my own rocket? Yes, you can. Everything you need to know can be found online, complete with videos. What fuel do rockets use? Petroleum fuels. The petroleum used as rocket fuel is a type of highly refined kerosene, called RP1 in the United States. Petroleum fuels are usually used in combination with liquid oxygen as the oxidizer. Is rocket science the hardest job? Rocket science is hard. Getting your degree will be tough if you're not good at physics and passionate about the field. And because aerospace combines so many other engineering disciplines, often all rolled into one class, the workload can easily be a lot heavier than you might expect. Is rocket science the hardest thing to learn? Is rocket science the hardest applied science field to learn? Learning rocket science is not that difficult as said. The real challenge is making it happen in real life. Saturn V rocket had around 3 million parts working at same time. Why is rocket fuel so expensive? Propellant costs are the smallest part of the cost for rockets. It's worse than that, actually, since usually it takes more mass than you can lift to orbit, so trying to recover the hardware from your rocket ends up making your rocket too heavy to get up to speed for orbit without running out of fuel first. Can you drink rocket fuel? Enter rocket fuel. A rocket fuel contains enough alcohol, at least in theory, to take down even the most seasoned of drinkers, and enough sugar to sacrifice the following day to the porcelain gods. This makes it the drink of choice for many partygoers. What are the 4 main parts of a rocket? There are 4 major systems in a full-scale rocket: the structural system, the payload system, the guidance system, and the propulsion system. Are rocket scientists real? According to NASA, officially, there is no such thing as a rocket scientist, therefore the term rocket scientist most likely refers to an aerospace engineer. An aerospace engineer's job involves the science, design, testing, and construction of rocket-propelled spacecraft, aircraft, satellites, or defense systems. How much money do rocket scientists make? Salary ranges for rocket scientists. The salaries of rocket scientists in the U.S. range from $67,850 to $158,700, with a median salary of $107,830. The middle 50% of rocket scientists makes between $107,830 and $120,000, with the top 83% making $158,700. How long does it take to be a rocket scientist? How long does it take to become a rocket scientist? It will take you 4 years to obtain a bachelor's degree, 2 to 3 years to earn a master's degree, and anywhere between 4 and 6 years to become a Ph.D. Even though a graduate degree is not required, a lot of aspiring rocket scientists choose to earn one. Where can I learn rocket science for free? Rockets. 1. The Conquest of Space. Space Exploration and Rocket Science, EDX, Self-Paced. Course Auditing. EDX. Universidad Carlos III de Madrid, UCEM. 2. Mechanics, Momentum and Energy, EDX, Self-Paced. Course Auditing. EDX. MIT. 3. Introduction to Aerospace Engineering, Astronautics and Human Spaceflight, EDX, Self-Paced. Course Auditing. EDX. Why is it called rocket science? An Atlas missile is launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, in October 1964. It was the 4th time North Korea had tried and failed to do it, adding to the growing worldwide history of failed rocket launches. How much does a rocket cost? Spacex, the pioneering rocket launch company founded by Elon Musk, famously advertises a launch cost of just $62 million for its Falcon 9 rocket, a price it has held steady for 4.5 years. What is rocket fuel made of? Rocket engines and boosters carry both fuel and an oxidizer. For solid fuel, the components are aluminum and ammonium perchlorate. For liquid fuel, the components are liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. When combined, the fuels release water, which allows the rocket to leave the ground. How are rockets used today? Rockets are now used for fireworks, weaponry, ejection seats, launch vehicles for artificial satellites, human spaceflight, and space exploration. Chemical rockets are the most common type of high-power rocket, typically creating a high-speed exhaust by the combustion of fuel with an oxidizer. How do rockets take off? Straight? The rocket begins by flying straight up, gaining both vertical speed and altitude. During this portion of the launch, gravity acts directly against the thrust of the rocket, lowering its vertical acceleration. After the pitch over is complete, the engines are reset to point straight down the axis of the rocket again. What is the speed of the rocket? NASA's Juno spacecraft is the fastest man-made object ever recorded, at roughly 365,000 kilometers per hour, 165,000 miles per hour, as it approached Jupiter. The fastest launch velocity belongs to New Horizons, which went 58,000 kilometers per hour, 36,000 miles per hour. Thank you, Bachirikawa. You gave useful information. How do rockets work? Rockets work by a scientific rule called Newton's third law of motion. The exhaust pushes the rocket. 2. The rocket pushes the exhaust backward. The exhaust makes the rocket move forward.